Hey everybody, Pineapple Dan here, Niagara Tropics, Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario. Happy New Year to everybody. I wanted to post a quick video here, well maybe a little longer than normal, about the winter garden here, January 1st, 2026. I just wanted to highlight a couple of things as we move along. A lot of you have been curious on what the garden looks like in the winter months, and I'm just going to give you a quick sneak peek here at everything and how things look and how they appear. Here we are, January 1. So let's have a look over here. We certainly have our little gem magnolia, you know, putting on, keeping on, doing its thing. Just dormant right now. Probably photosynthesizing a little bit with the broadleaf evergreen style thick leaves that they have. You know, it is -6 Celsius right now, which is pretty much low 20s Fahrenheit. So, you know, quick look around, got the grass on the side all chopped up. Of course, for the winter, we've got some hardy yucca right here, filamentosa. You can see with the nice filaments in the sunshine here. These tend to, when they feel the extreme cold, they tend to, you know, shrink up a little bit and stiffen up. So anyhow, we got a nice, another agave here, Sentry. You know, trying it out for the first year. Looks pretty darn good if you ask me. Got some windmill palms. As you know, most of you are familiar with the garden. So here we have a windmill palm, was planted as a 30-gallon. Here we are now looking at close to 9 feet, at least with the enclosure. So in reality, with all the fronds tied up, you know, it's about 8 feet or so, thereabouts. But when the fronds are relaxed, we're looking at a 6-7 foot palm. Here's the pindo. Just to give you a quick update on that. I love having ventilation in the enclosures, because as you can see, everything's nice and green inside there right now. Again, thermal cube, 2 strings of C9 incandescent Christmas lights. I don't do a lot of wrapping, of course. It's really just tying up the fronds with a frost cloth, as you can see again. So everything's tied up. I got the frost cloth on. Then I've got my foil bubble wrap, the Reflectix, and of course the white tarp over top. I don't want to generate any heat from the sun. I don't want to desiccate or cook the palms, you know. So the white tarps, not only are they winter appealing, they certainly reflect a lot of the winter sun. So this is how we do it typically, and the rope isn't really good enough for to sustain the winds, but we do tend to, you know, screw them in with these fasteners, a washer and a deck screw right there. So that's how we generally do it, with an extra layer of mulch. And over here we've got our twins, you know, the twin windmills, again around 14-15 feet. The closest one you see right there, that is the female tree, and this smaller one here is the male tree. And this 1 or 2 flowers that it puts out every year provides seed for the rest of them and fertilizes the rest of them here. That's the hybrid tequila over on the far side of the cabana. And then over here we have you know, the famous dethatched windmill palm up in the covers there. Under these little huts we have sable miners. So these little huts are filled with leaves. You know, they're sable miners. I like to pile up a lot of snow around them just to, you know, keep any rodents or evidence of rodents get in. I can see it a lot better, but that's all it is. It's just a bunch of leaves in there right over top the sable miners. Do they need it? I'd say yes. You know, most people want to push their sable miners. Why bother? You know, these things are pretty hardy as they are. You know, we are in zone 7A here anyhow, so not a lot of snow on the ground. Maybe about an inch and a half. That's about it so far right now, January 1. Again, another sable miner. A couple more yuccas. Off to this side here we have, of course, our hybrid tequila. Got some bamboo off into the corner. A lot of fun. I'm trying bamboo again. You know, this was donated to me by my good friend Bob out in Hamilton there. So thanks, Bob. Appreciate that. Of course, some more yuccas here. Sable miner. Of course, I won't get into that. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe let's have a look. Yeah, I can see what's going on underneath all the wrapping. I can always put it together a little later. But that's all it is. Just a bunch of dry leaves, you know, holding things together. And of course, lots of mulch, a frost cloth, and there's some green sable miner right there. So it's still nice and toasty, nice and cozy. Although they do feel the cold like we do. In some cases, they are happy here. Down here we have our needle palm, and again, I have another video on how these needle palms are typically wrapped. You know, I just cage in with chicken wire, a couple posts, and again, dry leaves on the outside for the base. They don't really need much protection at all, needle palms in this zone here. I like to wrap them just for the sheer sake of not having heavy wet snow or ice build up on the fronds and snapping them. So this is how we typically wrap it. Very inexpensive, very quick method on wrapping needle palms here in Niagara. And as you can see, everything is still very much perfectly green. And it's a sight for sore eyes in these winter days, I'll tell you that. But these palms are pretty much bulletproof. And they get more and more bulletproof the hardier they get. So, or the older they get rather, they get more and more hardy. So there you have it right now for that. Off to the side over here, we have a crepe myrtle zuni. And this is, of course, a crepe myrtle is certainly deciduous, so it will drop its leaves. You can see some seed clusters here. And one way to tell the, you know, the exfoliating bark, of course, you can see the nice characteristic of a crepe myrtle. Any crepe myrtles will defoliate or exfoliate their bark right here. And one way to tell if it's still hanging on is you just scratch a little bit of the inner, and if you see some green, you know that the plant is still doing its thing. And there you have it. You can see some green. You know, remove there we go. So there's some green underneath there, so I know the plant is well asleep, well dormant. And the only way to winterize hardy crepe myrtles is just mulch at the bottom, and that's how we put these guys to bed. And of course there's some more over here. Here's a dynamite crepe myrtle, same idea. This one's put on a significant amount of growth. They are fast growers. I love my crepe myrtles. This one has nice deep dark almost purpley leaves with lighter purple clusters and panicles of flowers. So again, if I scratch away some of the bark here, you'll see that let's get it to focus. You'll see some, sorry, terrible angle. You see some green. There you go. So I know this plant is well dormant as well, and of course these are the most extreme area for the extreme conditions for to zone push this particular brand of crepe myrtle. And of course I've got some bananas under here. Everyone knows my cluster of Musa Baju, the hardy bananas, all under here right now. Again, just, you know, cut right down to about 8 or 9 inches off the ground, covered with some straw and a green tarp. And the only reason why the green tarp is there is not to build up any heat or anything like that, but it's more aesthetic and matches the color of the grass. So that's the only reason for that. I don't overthink it. And this little guy right here, this is a needle palm up against the foundation wall, lots of mulch, and there you can see it's still fine. So it's happy again up against the house wall, and that should protect it, shelter it for a little more as they are young like this. So hopefully we get you know, a mild winter, but all bets are off on that. We never know. And you know, again, I just want to thank you for watching. I know it's a little longer than normal, but you know what, at the end of the day, it's New Year's and it's time for cheer, and let's have a great gardening season this year. And I really encourage you guys to subscribe and certainly share your pictures of your garden and what have you with me. I really love looking at them and collaborating with you, so thanks for that. Thanks for a terrific 25, and we'll see you on unwrapping day when I post a video in 8 to 10 weeks. See you then.